AFN Producer's Notebook, a visit to a creative production environment that makes AFN Europe one of the busiest network production facilities in the AFRTS system. Hardware is important, and we have it. AFN News, for example, is received, processed, written, timed, and formatted on this sophisticated BASIS computerized news system. The unit integrates the news wires and the journalists into a cohesive web that facilitates a tight, systematic approach to news production. The system even feeds the teleprompters from the newsroom.
Tonight on the AFN Evening News.
The world responds to the tensions in the Gulf of Sidra as the U.S.-Libyan confrontation intensifies. Boston University live via satellite in West German classrooms, and one usurer community wages a TV turnoff.
The AFN Evening News, compiled from the major networks, wire services, and public affairs offices, with reports from AFN stations in West Germany, Berlin, Belgium, and the Netherlands.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Beavers.
News production has reached a high level at AFN. With the addition of new graphics and tighter pacing, the AFN Evening News can compare with many major market news operations in the United States. AFN News reporters and camera teams are among the busiest in the world. This is especially true during major NATO exercises. The network's annual Reforger story, for example, is reported by an AFN team that is deployed to a field location where nightly radio and television reports are filed to the entire network.
Reforger 86, an exercise certain Sentinel. It was to be a frigid winter test of men and machines in the Bavarian highlands. A time for more than 50,000 troops stationed in Europe and the largest ever contingent of U.S. reservists to maneuver over the frozen German countryside. But it didn't happen that way. And for the 24 broadcasters and technicians of the American Forces Network Europe, that made bringing the soldier's story to the 500,000 viewers of the network nightly even harder than any field exercise experienced before. Saturated ground and muddy conditions made certain Sentinel a problem for exercise planners. For the troops themselves, it made it a true field problem from the start. Concern for protecting the German countryside and the reduction of costly maneuver damage forced maneuver planners to scale down the exercise from a full field training exercise to a command field exercise. And that made the mission of AFN difficult as well. AFN has earned a reputation of being able to bring the story of the individual soldier and his mission to the viewer during past Reforger exercises, mostly by presenting live via microwave coverage. However, certain Sentinel was different. Rather than live microwave coverage of the action in the field, AFN instead shipped the nightly news product from Nuremberg to Frankfurt studios by train for inclusion in the AFN Evening News at 6:30. That required the AFN News team to get an even earlier jump on daily activities and developments than ever before. Despite those constraints, AFN again was able to not only provide viewers a comprehensive look at daily activities, but continue to give a step-by-step account of what Reforger and exercises like certain Sentinel are all about.
All AFN television shows and programs support command information objectives. The network's answer to getting service members and their families out of the American military community and into the European scene is the award-winning program Passport.
On this edition of Passport, space available air travel with the Military Airlift Command in Europe. Find out how you can take advantage of flights going to places like Crete, Greece, and Italy. We look at tradition as German and American hunters get together for an afternoon in the great outdoors, and we show you how to become a part of it. Plus, we pay a visit to jolly old England's largest city, London, to show you how to get around and what to see in this great vacation spot.
Guest House with your host, Sergeant Kathleen Devine.
Hello and welcome into the Guest House tonight. As the saying goes, an army travels on its stomach. Well, all branches of the services are keeping a close eye on our stomachs these days and our waistlines.
This program deals with nearly any subject you can think of. Gasthaus is the longest sustaining program on AFN television, but it looks as new as tomorrow with a new set and graphics. The daily abbreviated talk show is aired in prime time and continues to fill an important command information role for the military community in Europe. While Gasthaus focuses on issues, another television program on AFN features close-up profiles of interesting personalities in the military community. We call it Spotlight. AFN producers operate with a great sense of responsibility toward their audiences, the thousands of service members, civilians, and their families living and sometimes having difficulty coping with living in the middle of a thriving European community. It is with that concern and consideration that several times a year they'll produce AFN special reports on quality of life issues. One recent report explored banking and money-related issues.
Welcome to an AFN special report on American Express, the community bank. Reporting for Special Report, AFN's Robert Forrest.
Consider the plight of Specialist 4 Jesse Reese and his wife Tammy. In the country now for about 6 months, and for 6 months without any type of bank account. Now they realize the necessity for one, and it's been a hard lesson in inconvenience which has taught them that.
Quality of life for others less fortunate was also the subject of a special AFN report when Sergeants Richard Rial and Hector Figueroa were dispatched to the African subcontinent to tell the story of a small group of Army engineers from Karlsruhe, West Germany, who were working on a mission of life in drought-stricken Mali.
It'd be difficult in 2 or 3 minutes to try to tell you what the situation is here. The situation is so complex in drought-stricken Africa. But there are children standing around me alive. They have food in their hands. And the United States Army is part of the reason why.
Christmas time at AFN was special this past year when thousands of children were treated to a series of daily programs just for them. It was called Santa's Post Office. The test of its success was the mail. More than 6,000 letters were received by the cast of characters who told the story of Christmas in their own unusual way. The programs were researched, written, and produced by AFN volunteers who made Santa's Post Office their gift to Americans in Europe.
Hey, see that new show on AFN television? It's called Prime Time.
Yeah, I got some prime rib.
No, the show's called Prime Time.
Oh, yeah, I can have it in time.
No, on AFN television. You know that show, Prime Time?
Oh,
Are they gonna do something on prime rib?
No, guys, but Prime Time is back February 4th at 8 o'clock on AFN television when hosts Ann Mulligan and Robert Forrest open your lifestyle magazine with a look at a soldier who became king of rock and roll. There's also the latest in entertainment technology, the compact disc. We'll see how airlines put flight attendants through some very realistic training. And it takes more than looks to be a pro football cheerleader. What's so special about special effects? It's not easy to change a lady into a lion. This and more on Primetime, Tuesday, February 4th at 8 o'clock on AFN television.
Where's that story on prime rib?
Promotion is also an integral part of the production picture at AFN Europe. That promo you just saw invited viewers to watch AFN's monthly Primetime program, the network's newest show. Primetime is written and produced at headquarters AFN in Frankfurt. Features are contributed by associate producers at AFN's 10 affiliate outlets, and the program is taped at AFN's Berlin studios.
So what's the trend with the American dollar going way down? Are we going to buy more American cars or what?
Well, USER Motor Vehicle Registry in Heidelberg says that Buy America trend really hasn't hit yet. Their latest statistics still show that foreign cars, Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes, are still the top 3 cars registered by American military personnel overseas. But they do expect that trend to reverse soon. Say, if you like to drive, you should check out some of these video games. They're a lot cheaper.
Yeah, they don't eat gas, just quarters.
High production values do not come without cost. The way AFN television looks these days is the result of scientific design, coordinated effort, and intensive training. Making maximum use of resources is what it's all about. As producers, we know we have the technology to do the job, but we also believe that the genius of the future lies not in technology alone, but rather in the ability to manage it. At AFN Europe, we think we're heading rapidly in that direction.